Good morning, everyone. So this is always a highlight in the GESF agenda, where we bring the largest actors on the government stage together to talk about various current affairs issues, as well as to speak to them about the theme of the conference, which this year, as you know, we're asking the question, who is changing the world? The reason we ask this is because we want to learn how change happens nowadays. We want to understand how that change and the lessons that we learn from there can be brought into schools to transform them. And
on behalf of all Kenyans, let me congratulate you on winning the Global Teacher Prize for this year. You are a shining example of what the human spirit can achieve, not just for Kenya, not just for Africa, but for the world. Peter, you chose to teach in a remote part of Kenya. Keriko Mixed Day Secondary School. And you chose to transform lives in such situations, a choice that I'm sure was difficult. You give me faith that Africa's best days are ahead of us, and your story will light the way for all future generations. Your Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, your support for the teaching profession and your continued patronage of the Global Teacher Prize is changing the lives of many teachers and children around the world.
My name is also Mashkari. I come from Afghanistan. It's really important, especially.
thank you very much. So that the question you asked.
The audience in as well, so you'll get the chance to ask questions.
Thank you. Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Rahmatullah Arman. I have about 5 years of experience in teaching within the schools and about 3 years in teaching at universities. Currently, I'm a Malala Fund Gulmakai champion. I'm also CEO and founder of Teach for Afghanistan organization. It's an organization working for providing quality education to Afghan children, both girls and boys. And it's through empowering young Afghan men and women so that we are developing their collective leadership to achieve quality education for all Afghan children.
Thank you. Again, there's issues around practical support for girls, and obviously pregnant women is an important issue you've raised there, and also issues about sort of symbolism and some of the work having to be ground up and owned by the local community as well. Arman, do you have anything to add to the...
Yeah, thank you very much. I strongly believe that equal opportunities should be provided. Even when you're talking about girls' education or boys' education, so equal education opportunities should be provided. And like it can start from the classrooms itself, like how a teacher treats both girls and boys students like equally, how resources and opportunities are equally provided to both of them. From there, they both boys and girls, they understand how to respect each other's rights. Obviously, it goes side by side. And from the family, the same thing. But at the same time, being a feminist, so I'm very much against the idea of like only educating girls or boys, specific to respect others' rights. Like specifically, sometimes we discuss about like educating boys to respect girls' equality, or to believe in equality, that okay, girls should be also given equal rights. I mean, here again, then we will be also again giving a superior role to the boys, because they should be educated so that they can give, or they can allow us to provide them an equal education. So I think it should go very much side by side. Both girls and boys should be educated equally, and both should be able, I mean, even if you're talking about the respect, equality and all, so both should understand, both should be educated to give or support equal opportunities for each other.
That's really helpful, and I think both you and Denise have drawn out very strongly some of the challenges for boys and young men around dominant constructions of masculinity, and how that can be very challenging for them on a personal level. So the benefits for boys being educated about equality that's, you know, enables sort of freer constructions of gender for both girls and boys. We'll take both questions and then have the answers, please.
My name is Sylvia, I'm from Brazil. I was wondering if, you know, we want that gender is in the curriculum of the country. It's like a policy, it's a public policy, right? It's not, in an ideal world, we want that gender is in education by a government decision, like a state policy. But as we don't have it, as civil organization, we are working on that. But I'm thinking, what we are doing, what are you doing to prepare the teachers to change the gender equality in schools? Because gender education, and mostly the people in the decision-making process in our country, they are men, they are old, and they don't want to this kind of change. So what you are doing to prepare the teachers as a key position to change the mind, and to actually to promote a kind of civilizatory change?
Thank you. And there was a lady at the front in yellow.
Thank you very much. Actually, just regarding the question you asked, I strongly believe that when we are talking about the policies, so obviously she mentioned that there may be policies, but then the government will, like all politicians, like men, mostly they don't want. So it all, I believe it goes like together, like if we have policies there in the place or not. But beside that, when we have policies, do we have strong commitment or not, so that it will be implemented? And when we are talking about the commitment, then after that comes the issue of resources. Do we have resources to implement those policies, like for promoting gender equality? And even after that, I mean, I think it goes through the process, like even when you have resources, then the discussion will come like, do we have public acceptance, and how is the mindset of the people for accepting that policy? There have been like lots of policies made, they look very fancy, very good, but at the same time, like in Afghanistan, it happened a lot, like then it's not implementable due to the people's mindset and all. Then the question is raised, like, do we make the people's mindset and acceptance to that level, like from the schools, communities, teachers, parents, villages and all? Are they all accepting the policies and the change that we want to bring or not? So So it's a long-term action, but also again, I will come to the same collective several times I mentioned, to that collective effort that will really ensure that we can have all the policies implemented and equality achieved, but if we have that collective action.
So it needs commitment at many different levels, basically.
Yes.
Very quickly. Just want to end with when we all look at this, who is changing the world? So if you're removing the word changing, then it comes who is the world? So if it's about us, if it's about the students, if it's about all people living in it, then who's changing it for the better? So obviously I would say those who are providing the platform, opportunities equally to all of us, so that we can raise our voice and have collective action. So they are people changing the world, and we all can be that. Be it international donors, when we're talking about the funding, governments and all. If it's about the people, then obviously a positive response.